So right hand piece of paper, bottom left hand target. And this is the .177 by the way. Hello and welcome to the Gun Locker. Now in front of me is a rifle that I've been wanting to review for some time now, and it's Weihrauch's HW100 T. Now the reason why I've not been able to review one until now is basically I simply haven't been able to get my hands on one. That's not to say that you can't get hold of a new 100. Yes you can, and you can do that quite easily, but getting hold of a used HW100 is actually quite tricky because they're so sought after that as soon as they come on the market, basically they've sold. And I specifically wanted a used rifle to review, one that had some age, because at the end of the day, Weihrauch, they build good quality rifles and they build them to last. So I wanted a rifle that stood the test of time in order to be able to see whether, after a few years, has it performed? Is it still up to standard? Now this rifle is almost 10 years of age, and looking at it, it looks mint. I've shot it, and I'm going to show you the footage of me shooting outside shortly, and I'm not going to say whether it shoots well or not. You're going to see that for yourself. And what I would also like to do is when I do this review follow the format as what I've done with my previous two reviews, and that's to give you the tech specs first and then show you that footage of me shooting outside and then come back inside to do the ratings, to give it ratings for accuracy and performance and then design and build. And one of the reasons why I'm really quite excited to have it here is because the channel, if you guys have been following me from the beginning, you'll know that the channel started with me reviewing its sibling, the HW77K. I've got it here, look. And I absolutely love this rifle. I've not been able to shoot it as much as I like because I seem to be reviewing, lots of rifles now each week. But yeah, absolutely love this. And this rifle, the HW77K, is the rifle that I've used to set the bar, to create a set of standards against which I could compare other rifles. And I've had subscribers say to me, you know what, fine, but you can't compare a PCP against a Springer. Well, in my mind you can, because at the end of the day, both of those, whether they're PCPs or Springers or gas rounds, CO2s, they are air guns. And they are designed to shoot lead downrange and hit a target, hopefully accurately and consistently. But with that being said, I now have the HW100, a PCP, in front of me, to which I can apply those same set of standards, and let's see how it matches up against its sibling. So this is really quite exciting for me. Without further ado, I'm going to go over the specs of the rifle, and we'll go from there. So let's make a start. Like I've said, this is the HW100 T, T meaning thumb hole stock. It comes in a few variants. You've got the HW100S, the 100T, the 100T special edition, and the special edition basically means that it comes in a laminated stock, which is in a forest green colouring, very similar to the HW77 that I've got here. Now you also get the K versions of this, and K simply means carbine, so it's a shorter barrel. The price for this rifle, and bear in mind it's used and it's almost 10 years of age, is £750. That's without the scope is mine, but it does come with a moderator. It also comes with, some rotary magazines and a filler port, but I'll talk about those later. As you can see, it's a traditional style sporting rifle. okay, and it does have a side lever cocking mechanism, which is just there. It's available in .177, .2 and .22 calibers, so in 4.5, 5.08 and 5.5 millimeters. And with regards to its length, well, from butt to muzzle, it's 1065 millimeters or 41.93 inches. And its center of balance is basically from the butt to where my hand is, so just under the breech, and that's 485 millimeters or 19.09 inches. The reach from the butt to the trigger is 365 millimeters or 14.37 inches. And its weight unscoped is 3.7 kilos or 8.16 pounds. Now, the stock, like I've already mentioned, it's a thumb hole stock. It's made from oiled walnut, and it's actually of a very, very high quality. But I'm going to be careful here because I don't want to repeat myself when I talk about, you know, design and build, so I'm just going to kind of move on from there. The butt pad itself is solid, there's no movement, and it's made from rubber. The butt itself is ambidextrous, so you have a swell on both sides of the stock. And the cheek piece, obviously, as you can see, is fixed, so there's no adjustment in that. The finish to the grip and to the fore end, well, to the grip you've got stippling, and to the fore end you've got basically routed grooves for your fingers to sit in nicely. The grip itself allows you to have multiple positions, so you can wrap around and you can put your thumb on top. It's actually quite nicely finished, so there's no sharp edges here on the top of the butt that might make it uncomfortable when when you're holding the rifle. For me, I prefer to wrap my hand around the grip as opposed to go thumbs up. That's just how I've always shot, but some people prefer thumbs up. And if obviously you see me looking down, that's because I've got my screen here and I'm just going through making sure that I'm not missing any of the specs. Now, with regards to stock attachments, actually there's nothing on here, you know, and I'm glad, to be fair, there are no sling studs that have been fitted because it would spoil the wood. What I've done in the past with rifles like this, when I've actually put a sling on them, I made a leather cradle that went around the butt and also cut the butt pad itself, and from there was a D-ring to which I could attach a strap, and on the front here there was a belt that actually goes around the fore end, so you don't damage the rifle but it keeps it nice and secure. And if you wanted to make one, I mean, you can use Velcro or anything like that. Obviously it's got to be secure enough so it doesn't come undone and you don't drop your rifle, but it's a way of preserving the stock. If we talk about the chassis, well, the chassis itself is made from aluminium and it only comes in the one colour, and that's black. The trigger itself is a blade trigger made from metal, and it's 3-stage adjustable. So first stage travel, second stage travel, and then you've got the pull weight as well. And it's fairly easy to adjust because within the trigger guard itself there are some holes that have been drilled through, and they allow you to access the grub screws that are needed to adjust the trigger. So it's fed using a rotary magazine. I'll pull one out of here. And it's a very, very simple design, but very effective. There's nothing to go wrong with these, you know. They're really I can't tell you how kind of easy it is to fill one of these compared to something like a Turkish rifle, a Crow. There's no case to rotate anti-clockwise or anything like that. You just simply pop your pellets in, make sure they're seated, and you load it into the rifle. Brilliant, brilliant design. And there's a lot of people out there, if you look on reviews, you'll see that they all rave about these magazines because they are maintenance free. With regards to magazine capacity, well, for the .177 and the .22, they're 14 shots, and for the for the .2, not .22, for the .22, it's 12-shot magazine. What else can I say? Looking at the rifle, the actual safety mechanism is here. It's above the trigger, well away from it, away from the trigger guard, which is fantastic in my mind, and it's within easy reach of the thumb, you know. So when you're wanting to obviously put it from safe to fire, you can, there's a nice kind of length to the knob there, which means you can control it with both your thumb and finger, so you can disengage that safety quietly, or you can flick it, whichever you want. Now, with regards to the scope rail on top of the chassis, it's a dovetail and it's 203mm long, or 7.99 inches. The rail width is 11.5mm or 0.45 inches, and the offset, so the distance from the rail to the top of the barrel, is 3.25mm or 0.13 inches. The barrel is made in-house by Weihrauch and it's button rifled, and the barrel length from the breech to basically where the silencer or moderator is screwed onto it is 415mm or 16.34 inches, and the barrel wall thickness is 5.69mm or 0.22 of an inch, so it's actually quite a thick barrel. Obviously there's no shrouding to this. What you see is what you get, which is, in my mind, perfectly adequate. You know, I don't think that that barrels, especially when they're as chunky as this, need shrouding. In my mind, a shroud is used to protect the barrel. When it's as strong as this, it doesn't need it. That's only just adding weight and affecting the aesthetics as far as I'm concerned. And as you can see, there is a moderator that's been fixed on the end of this, screwed onto it, and that's a Weihrauch moderator. It's 200mm long or 7.87 inches, and it has a diameter of 30.06mm or 1.18 inches. Now, the cylinder has a capacity of 175 cc's, and it's filled with a probe. Now there's a plug here. Really quite handy, and you use a probe that has got a Foster fitting end on it, so that's quite nice because you can simply plug it into your Foster coupler, and you don't have to unscrew your coupler to thread this in, or to screw it in and then put it back in again. It's really quite a sensible design. The max fill pressure, well, recommended max fill pressure is 200 bar or 2,900 psi, and the manometer is actually fitted at the end of the cylinder. Now, I don't really like manometers, you know, towards the dangerous end of the rifle, but to be fair, when you're looking at it, the dial, I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on that, but you'll see it on the images that I used in the intro. The dial is very easy to read, and you could look at it from a distance and know, yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's within the green zone, and it's sensible as well, because the green zone is where you want to fill the rifle to and keep it within when you're shooting. Yeah, unlike some rifles that have got really weird colour codings to their manometers, this is extremely sensible. What else can I tell you? So I'm going to give you the factory figures now for output. They're not my figures, it's what Weihrauch is quoting on their website. With regards to the .177, which is what this is, they're quoting 12.02 foot-pound or 16.3 joules, a velocity of 250 meters per second or 820 feet per second, and a shot count per fill of 110 shots. The .2 gives the same output, so 12.02 foot-pound and 16.3 joules, and that's again the same for the .22. But velocity-wise, in .2 it's kicking out 200 meters per second or 656 feet per second, and has a shot count per fill of 116 shots. And then in the .22 version, you're getting 184 meters per second or 604 feet per second and 140 shots per fill. Now in the text specs, what you'll see is basically I've just given you the factory figures for the .177, and that's basically because I'm shooting a .177. And then what else? Finally, the sundry items. Well, you know, as I've already said, it comes with some rotary magazines. There's 2 of them here in a very nice little box with a magnetic lid, and you get a fill probe. So guys, that's it for the tech specs, and what you're about to see now is me shooting the rifle out at 30 meters. I'll catch you back in here afterwards to rate it.
So how would you or your family cope if you were to die, become terminally ill, or diagnosed with a critical illness? By protecting you and your family when you need it most, our main focus and priority is you, the customer, when it comes to your insurance needs. Our team of protection advisors are extremely experienced, so don't hesitate to call now and arrange a no obligation confidential appointment. At Insurite, we put you first.
I've just sighted it in with the Airarms Diablo Fields, and I only had 10 shots at it. As I say, I'm a little bit short of air, so what have I got? I'm at 140 bar. So I'm going to use the right hand piece of paper. I'm going to put a pellet in each of the outer targets and then a group in the centre, and then if I've got enough air I'll do a pellet test. But yeah, let's give it a go and see how it performs. So safety's on the right hand side, push it away for live, and yeah, let's give it a go. So right hand piece of paper, bottom left hand target. Bottom right hand target. Top right hand target. Top left hand target. And now we'll go for the group. So 5 shots in the centre target. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 'Pulled it! 5. But even so, I think that is the best accuracy test that I have ever done with a PCP. What an amazing bit of kit. It's absolutely stunning. You'll see the results down there, but that was just incredible. What a lovely rifle. Yeah. I've got some air left. What have I got? Yeah, I've got a bit of air left, so I'm going to do the pellet test now, just to see if it is fussy. We've seen the Air Arms Diablo fields, don't need to worry about that. I'm going to take this out. Yeah, that's alright. So on the left hand piece of paper, we're going to start with a grouping test, and we're going to use the Bisley long range golds. These have always been quite a good pellet in the past, so let's give them a go, shall we? And again, mag comes in from the right hand side, very easy to load, beautifully indexing. It's just pure German genius. So let's go bottom left hand target on a left hand piece of paper. We'll put a group in there. And again, this is group, this is not as close to the cross, but it's just as tight a group as I can get. Although saying that, it's right on the cross. Ah, that was me. Definitely me. Okay, as I say, because I'm restricted for air, I'm not going to shoot anymore. It likes them, absolutely loves them. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just load up another couple of mags, and I'll get back to you in a minute. So next up are the Diana high powers, and let's go for the bottom right hand target. So she's in fire mode. We'll put a few in there, see if it groups. Okay, that's enough of that. Not quite as good as the Bisley LRGs or the Diablo fields, but still not a bad group. I've got to say the cocking of this rifle is just, it's divine. It's silky smooth, silky smooth, so easy. The cocking action is the right length, the indexing is absolutely perfect. Yeah, fantastic. Look, next up is the Remington Thunder Barracudas, and let's go for the center target on that left hand piece of paper. And again, it's just a pellet test. That was bang in the center of the red cross. What a shot. Ah, pulled that one. Always the same, isn't it? No, it's not liking them. It's no point. That's a shame. So what I'm going to do is just load up with the last pellets that I've got here, the H&M Field Target Trophies, and we'll see how it groups with those. So what I'm going to say about these magazines, they're absolutely lovely. You just basically drop your pellets in at the top. You don't have to spin anything around. The rifle indexes it for you. It's held in by a rubber O-ring, which is nicely positioned, so you don't have to push the pellets in too far. They're all seated well. And again, we feed in from the right hand side, push the retaining pin back in, cock the rifle, and let's go top right hand target. Pulled it. I could feel myself just veer off to the right there. Yeah, I've got to say, it really does like these Field Target Trophies. Nice tight group. Tell you what, I've got a few shots left, I think I have anyway, so I'm just going to go for the spinners on the right hand side, just for a bit of fun. Camera's not zoomed in on that, but you'll probably see it from this one here behind me. Easy, so easy. That hit it right in the centre, so it didn't spin. There we go. How many more have I got? Yeah, it's an incredible gun. It's divine. I could kiss it. I really could. Yeah. Well, look, guys. With the little bit of air that I've got left, I'm just going to run it over the Crony, see what it's shooting at, and yeah, what a beautiful gun. Pure German quality engineering, and it's so nice because as soon as you start shooting it kind of, you can relax. You just know that wherever you're gonna, you point the rifle, it's going to hit that spot. It really is. Fantastic bit of kit. Fantastic bit of kit. Right, guys, I'll see you inside. Well, there you have it. That's me shooting this rifle at 30 meters, and I said something towards the back end of that footage there. I said that, you know what, I could kiss this rifle, and never done this before ever, but that is a beautiful gun. It just, as soon as you pick it up and as soon as you take that first shot, your confidence just floods in, because you just know that it's going to hit the target. I mean, guys, when I've got the target sheet here, The nearest to the centre of the cross is 0.84 of a millimetre. 0.84 of a millimetre away from the centre of the cross at 30 metres. And on the single shot test, the furthest away was 5.46 mil. It's phenomenal. You saw that there was a bit of a breeze there in the distance. You could see it in the trees. It's laser accurate. It really is. And before I rate it, you heard me say there that I had a bit of an issue with air. I'd basically run out. What had happened, this was the last rifle that's being tested on the day. I'd shot quite a few, and I didn't realise, but I'd run out of air in my tank. And I came to fill this up and thought, oh, I'm in trouble here. But I really did not want to miss the window in the weather. I had that opportunity. I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go. I had 140 bar of pressure left. I'm going to at least try and get an accuracy test out of it. And if I've got any air left, then I'll do the pellet test. And thankfully, yeah, I did have enough air. So, what an incredible bit of kit. It really is pure German engineering. And you know what's really nice? There's no electronics. It doesn't need it. It's very kind of basic in its design, although highly engineered. But you don't have a plenum, you don't have hammer spring adjusters, you don't have, you know, transfer port adjusters, you don't have any of that. And that's the results you get. You know, you don't need all of those accessories, all of those gadgets to shoot well. You just need a manufacturer that takes their time and believes in producing high quality products. That's it. That's it. There's no more to be said. Anyway, let's get on with the ratings, and I'm going to start off with accuracy and performance. So, no surprises here, it scores 4.6 out of 5 stars. Like I've already said, so minimum point of impact from the Red Cross was 0.84 of a millimetre. There's no mistake there, 0.84 of a millimetre. The furthest or max distance away from the Red Cross was 5.46 millimetres, and then that group size, even though I pulled it, was 9.7 millimetres. Again, I'm going to say this at 30 metres. If I hadn't have pulled that, I would have been within a 5 mil group. That is just mind-blowing. And you know, when I did the pellet test, I said that it didn't like the pellets, you know, that were shooting in the centre target. In fact, for me to score it, what I do is I make sure that I can group within a 25 mil diameter ring for it to like pellets. That's the way I grade the rifles. And when I look at all of them are well within that. So, is it pellet fussy? In all honesty, no, it's not. It's just this centre group wasn't as tight as the others, but it doesn't mean to say that it wouldn't tighten up, because I'm sure it would. I'm sure it would. Okay, let's get on to handling. At 8.16 pounds, it's not light, it's not particularly heavy, you know, it's fairly well balanced. For the bench, it scores well, it scores 4 out of 5. For field work, it is a bit heavy, it doesn't score so well, it comes down at 2.5 out of 5. But the fit and the balance, you know, you're getting back up to 4 out of 5 again. So mid score, 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's fair. I really do think that's fair. Now, for loading the rifle, well, you saw that it has these really nice rotary magazines, very, very simple to load, indexes beautifully. Shot count is not, you know, particularly high. You've got 14 shots there for a mag, which is okay. You know, nowadays you're getting much larger magazines. So overall it scores 4 out of 5 for loading. A very, very high score. You know, it indexed each and every time perfectly. The cocking mechanism is so sweet. It's just the right draw length. There's no resistance when it feeds that pellet into the barrel. Yeah, what can I say? It's just lovely. It's just lovely. Now, trigger. Right. As I say, I've only just picked it up, and no word of a lie, because I was short of air, I only had 10 shots before I did that accuracy test. The trigger is so sweet, it's so nice, that I can only, you know, score it 5 out of 5. I just can't give it any less. And I know that I may sound as if I'm raving about it, but you saw the results, and it was just so easy, everything. So, you know, I'm going to say out of the box. It's not out of the box, it's how I've received it. 5 out of 5. The adjustability, 3-stage adjustability, easy access, 5 out of 5. Predictability, each and every time you know exactly when that sear's going to release. 5 out of 5. Yeah, stunning trigger. It just is divine. Alright, with regards to power output, the rifle scored at 4 out of 5. Now, I ran it over the Crony, like I said. The fastest speeds recorded was 756 feet per second. The slowest was 750.3 feet per second. So there was a spread of 5.7 feet per second. Again, no fancy gadgets. What you see is what you get. Pure, amazing German engineering. Weihrauch, superb, absolutely superb. With those scores, using the H&N Field Trophies at 8.64 grains, which is what I used for the Crony test, it was kicking out 10.89 foot-pounds. So some would say that's a little bit low, but remember, guys, I'm towards the point where you really want to fill this cylinder up again. So power was obviously dropping a little bit. I would expect it to shoot at around about 11.3, 11.4, but you know, even at 10.89, that's perfectly acceptable. For me, it's getting 4 out of 5 stars. It really is. Now, with regards to the shot count per fill, again, when I extrapolate the figures, I'm actually getting, or if I was to fill this to the maximum pressure of 200 bar and then shoot it down to 100 bar, I reckon this would kick out about 180 usable shots. That's 180 usable shots, which is more than the figures that Weihrauch are quoting on their website, and that's refreshing, because so far, whichever website I've gone on to, they're all overstating. Well, this time Weihrauch have actually understated, in my opinion, and of course because of that it gets 4 out of 5 stars. The shot count per bar as well, so we're looking at 1.8 shots per 1 bar of pressure used. Again, that scores highly. That's at 3.5 out of 5 stars. So again, what you see is what you get. There's nothing special here. It's just it's just pure genius. I say there's nothing special. How can pure genius not be special? But you know what I mean. You're not messing about with anything, you're just pointing and shooting, that's it. Overall, for air efficiency, 3.8 out of 5 stars. Noise levels, well, it's actually, with the moderator, it's kicking out 80 decibels, and that's quite low. Most PCPs around about the 88 decibel bracket. Even when they're moderated, that only really kind of drops down to about 86 decibels. So the setup that we got here is actually very, very good, and it's scoring 3.5 out of 5 stars for that. With regards to value for money, do I think it's value for money? Well, look, I think the face says it all. I think my pleasure, is just emanating. You know that I've really enjoyed shooting this. Do I think it's good value for money? Well, look, the price tag is here, £750. But that's for the rifle, for the moderator, for a couple of rotary magazines, and for the field probe. That's it. No other sundry items. Do I think it's good value for money? Well, look, you would need to spend some money. You'd probably want a really good quality scope on this, some decent mounts. You're probably going to want some form of bipod, although personally I would resist from doing that. I'd use a shooting stick or a bench rest or all that sort of stuff. And you're going to need an air supply if you're new to the game. So if you put 400 quid on it, would I spend £1,150 on this rifle with the setup to make sure that I can shoot? Yes, I would. To get results like this, absolutely. It actually scores, for value for money, 4.4 out of 5 stars, and that's way up there. And hand on heart, no word of a lie, I can understand exactly why these, as soon as they come in, are sold. And look, it's 10 years of age, it's still retaining a value of £750. That's, that speaks for itself. I would, I've recently shot the BSAs, and they're over £1,000. I shot the R10 SE. I would, any day of the week, buy this over that R10. Any day of the week. And this is 10 years old, and I would still get this as opposed to a brand new R10, without a shadow of a doubt. It's that good. Right, that's the ratings for accuracy and performance. And what's left now is the design and build side. So I'm going to go into that in a little bit more detail, and yeah, we'll make a start on that. Right, so in this section it's almost like a tale of two halves, because accuracy and performance, we know it scores very, very highly. Design and build, again, for some elements it's going to score highly, but for others it won't, namely ergonomics. I'll explain why in a little bit, but we're going to start off with aesthetics. So again, like I've said on all of my previous videos, aesthetics is all about personal opinion. How the rifle looks and how it appeals to you as the owner or potential owner. For me, I like it, I really do like it. Weihrauch have done a beautiful job in matching the stock with the rifle. It just, everything, all the lines, they all just fit very, very nicely. There's no sharp edges, it's just beautiful curves, nice even spacing. The the quality of the material, everything, it just looks great. It really does. From my perspective, I've scored the rifle 4 out of 5. It's not as pretty as some of these, other makes that are out there. Granted, it's not. It hasn't got a Manelli stock, but in all honesty, having shot rifles with Manelli stocks, I much rather this, because the length of the stock suits me, the weight of the stock suits me more. It just feels. All I can say, guys, is if you get a chance to actually pick one of these up, do so. You'll know exactly what I mean as soon as you put the rifle in your hands, and that's the only way that I can explain it. But for me, aesthetics, yeah, it's scoring 4 out of 5. Now, ergonomics, as I said, it's not going to score highly for ergonomics, and the simple reason is it's not that adaptable to the end user, and ergonomics is all about adaptability. Yes, it's been designed very nicely, and it's fit for purpose, no two ways about it. But it hasn't got the adjustable butt pad, it hasn't got the adjustable cheek piece, it hasn't got a pistol grip that you can change. It doesn't have any rails to the fore end that you can attach a bipod. There are no additional rails to the chassis. You don't have the hammer spring adjuster, you don't have the transfer port adjuster, there's no plenum, there's no fine adjustment for that plenum pressure. The manometers are at the end of the cylinder, they're not on the stock, well out of the way where people want to see them, or the secondary manometer isn't there. It doesn't have a match grade trigger in that it's not a blade on post setup. So there's a lot of stuff that it doesn't have, and because it doesn't have that adaptability, it's going to score very low, and that's for sure. And it does. It only scores 2.7 out of 5 stars. But the question is, does it need it? I guess if you were going to use it for field trials, then yeah, you're going to want hamsters, you're going to want an adjustable butt pad, you're going to want maybe some more shaping, but as it is, for everyday shooting, for pest control, for bench rest shooting, for a bit of fun, do you need any of that? No, you don't. Not in my opinion. But there is a rating system, and I think nowadays with a lot of these rifles where they score high on ergonomics, they're not necessarily that accurate. It swings and roundabouts, I guess. I'll put it this way, would I swap the adaptability and all those other things that you can include within ergonomic design, would I swap that for what this rifle is capable of doing? And the answer very simply is no, I would not. I wouldn't change a thing on it. Simple as that. We're going to talk about build quality now. I don't suppose this is going to come as a surprise to anyone, but I simply have not been able to fault it. I've had a good look at it. It's 10 years of age. The bluing on the chassis or on the barrel is just as if it was a day old. The stock is incredible. The trigger is just sublime. Everything works perfectly. Without stripping it down to nuts and bolts, which I will not do because it's not my rifle and I don't want to mess it up, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So it's got to score 5 out of 5 across the board. It's as simple as that. It really is. And then finally, we're going to talk about the safety. Now the safety, for its positioning and its operation, scores 4 out of 5 because there's nothing to fault. It's well out of the way of the trigger and the trigger guard. It's within easy reach of the thumb. There's a nice length to the knob there, which means you can grip it between your thumb and finger to allow you for silent movement backwards and forwards. Yeah, and it works. It's not stiff, it's just there's enough pressure on there to make sure that once it's engaged, or disengaged, it's disengaged. It just operates perfectly well. Where it loses a little bit is the fact that it's a manual and not automatic, and that's always going to be a bit of a bugbear because, you know, rifles, in my mind, sporters in particular, if you're going out on the field, they really should have an automatic safety, and I know that a lot of people don't agree. It's just my personal opinion. So for the design of the safety and its operation, its positioning, I've given it a score of 3.7 out of 5 stars. The overall score for design and build was 3.8 out of 5 stars. The overall score for accuracy and performance was 4.1 out of 5 stars. So all I can say is, Weihrauch, keep making them like this. Please keep making them like this. It's an absolutely stunning bit of kit. It really is. And you guys, I'm going to let you into a bit of a spoiler alert here. I've actually got an HW110 in a bag to the left of me, and that's ready for review. Again, that's another used rifle. I'm going to see whether that performs in the same way as this, so that should be quite interesting. But it will be a week or two before you see that review. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review on this wonderful, amazing, beautiful Weihrauch HW100 T. I really wish I could own this rifle, but I think my darling wife would have something to say. Yeah, I might have to convince her. I don't know. My birthday's coming up fairly soon, in a couple of months maybe. But no, in all seriousness, it really is a stunning, stunning rifle. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you have, please subscribe, please give us a thumbs up and share amongst your friends and family. And again, don't forget, we've got the platform, we've got www.thegunlocker.uk, where you can buy and sell rifles, shotguns, firearms, sporting accessories, that sort of stuff. It's open to everybody across the globe except for those sanctioned countries, of course. Yeah, please support us, pop on that site, use it. The dealers would appreciate using it as well. And until the next one, which I think is going to be this little baby, the Benjamin Armada. Yeah. Until the next one, and for now, take care and goodbye.